Hi everyone, Janet here from The Real Deal. We are talking this week about how to research online courthouse case files to perform a due diligence search of a property on which you are interested in placing a bid at the courthouse foreclosure sale. When you are at the point that you have picked out a handful of properties for which you are interested, now you need to do your homework by doing your own title search and look for problems in the case file that might end up being your problem. This is always time consuming, so you have to learn how to be quick but thorough. In this 3-part video series, Phil is going to walk you through how to sift through the online legal information to help you make smart investing decisions. Be sure to sign up for the premiere of these videos as well as our future videos where we will be on hand live answering questions you may have on investing. So now here is Phil to continue the discussion.
Today I'm going to be talking to you what I look at when I'm looking for a property, but more importantly, we're going to go back and look at some historic sales that have occurred as foreclosures, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking for. Now, just as important as picking the right property, I want you to get good at researching historical sales. I mean, looking at what occurred in the sale and being able to develop your own strategy and plan, and knowing how to go back and look and see whether you would have avoided that sale or not. And being able to pick the winners and the losers is going to be very crucial in your ability to be successful in the foreclosure market. Now, in the last episode, the last video, I showed you how I went through the sales and picked them. And similar to this, I'm going to show you a spreadsheet that I've used that I record the historical sales. Now, again, I've gone back to 2010. Why 2010? Because in my county, they have been recording sales online. The information has been online since 2010. So that's how far I've gone back. And I pulled almost all the sales, particularly the last 5 years. And I've looked at them and analyzed them 6 ways to Sunday and made inferences and understandings on what's going on. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my screen here. Now, like I showed you before, I'm getting this information from the sales database, and each time a sale comes out, I enter the basic information, as you see here, which we've already discussed. And let's talk about now actually looking at the docket. So what I'm doing here is I'm copying the case number that you have already entered, or I've already entered, and I'm going out to my Clerk the Court website. Now, this is Orange County, Florida, and you have the option of either logging in or just entering the information on the fly, but you get this CAPTCHA, and sometimes the CAPTCHAs can get rather prohibitive. It seems over time, before I got an account number, they would prompt me 6 or 7 times. I've identified more mountain scenes, buses, bicycles, cars, signs, etc. on pictures than I care to remember. So I went ahead and called the clerk, and it was a little bit difficult because frequently it seems like I had to find the person that even understand what the heck I was talking about, getting a sign on for my clerk's website. But again, if you're doing this in the state of Florida, you should be able to get a sign on. If you're doing it in any other state, it's probably very similar. If you're doing it in the UK or around the world, probably your clerk or similar governmental authority has the ability for you to sign on. I highly recommend it. just save you some time. So I'm going to log in to the Clerk site, a little slow, and I'm going to search records. And what this is a database, not just foreclosures. This is every civil record that's gone through the Clerk's website and gives me information. So if I wanted to look at, this is a rather useful tool to learn because I want to look at someone's past evictions. If I'm looking at a tenant, I want to see their evictions. I've got, for whatever reason, just type in the various, the first name, last name, or case number, whatever you have, you can kind of do a background check on people. But in this case, I'm entering the case number. So I'm doing that there. And now I'm going to start the docket. Now, the first thing, as I told you, what's important to me, and this kind of confirms along the way, is what type of plaintiff do I have? So in this case, you see it's JP Morgan Chase, very big bank. So pretty comfortable that, well, like I said, with the big banks, generally they're going to get it right as far as foreclosure or getting, doing everything properly. They do have their aggravations, no doubt, but generally they're skilled at doing the foreclosure process. So if they throw you a bad, throw you some ill or something bad, it's that they intended to and not that they screwed up. Generally, I do see that some of their attorneys get kind of odd, but generally, since they do a lot of them, they seem to be quite good at it. So let's click on the case number and go into the file, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking for and kind of walk you through the docket. Now, this case took place about, 6 months ago? 7, so it's been going on for some time. So we're actually looking at it around 6 months down the road. Actually, this is 8 months down the road. The first thing I'm zooming in on is I'm going down to kind of back up, and I'm interested in what happened around the foreclosure sale. So the first thing you see here is, and I record this down in my data, is the certificate of title. Well, okay, this was a success. You can see they got their certificate of title. And what happens is, just a reminder, when you bid on a property, you are required to put, you bid if you're the successful bidder, at least in my county, because very similar, likely very similar in your county. If you're the successful bidder, then you have somewhere around 24 hours, and in my county it's 12 noon the next day, to get all the money in. All the money plus court costs, cash on the barrel. You can get a cashier's check, or however I'm not sure if they take cash, but you go get a cashier's check for that kind of size money. You gotta have all the money on the barrel. But when you go and you give the money, what do they give you back? They give you a certificate of sale, basically saying that you deposit your money, you gave them money. Well, you don't get your title for roughly 10 business days, maybe longer. And during that time, anybody can object that has a right to. Anything can happen. The bank can throw the sale, decide that they want to cancel the sale. The judge can decide they want to cancel the sale. The people could declare bankruptcy. So you don't even get your title until roughly 10 days, maybe longer later. And so if you see on this docket, we have a certificate of title. And this occurred roughly 10 days, well, actually a little longer. Yeah, roughly 10 days, 14, if you include the weekends, 14 days. So let's back up a little bit. This person bid, and they were the successful bidder, and they received their certificate of sale. They paid for it, and then they received their certificate of title here. Okay, so that's a successful bid. And there's multiple outcomes. If you didn't have a successful bid, someone would challenge the title, and it might take longer to get the title, or they might get their money back. But in this case, they have, as you see, they have paid their money. And backing up a little bit further, let's say when the actual sale took place. Well, here you go. That's what you're looking for. This is the sale date. It happened on November 19th, 2019. And you get some interesting information here that I like to go out, and because I'm tracking a lot of, I probably take more data than you may want to. I'm wanting to go and look and see who's bidding on what the big successful bidders or the people that are doing a lot, what they're bidding on. And I like to track some various other information. So if you want to see what everybody was, what the interest in the property was in Orange County, and again, similar in your county, I click on the bid amount here, and that's actually a document that takes me out, and I'm able to see who bid on what. And again, reconfirming it's a big bank. I'm looking at the defendant, and it's, again, it doesn't look like an estate. And if I come down to here, I can see what everybody's bidding. Well, they bid this thing up. Now, what's happening here?
So there you go. We hope you found this informative. Be sure to join us next week for part 2 as we continue this discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to sign up for our live question and answer sessions. See you real soon.